Is how to counter your heroes and villains today. We're gonna go through the list of all these heroes and villains, and I'm gonna tell you what the best type of heroes or which type of villain is best to counter the all specific heroes. So we got a Boba Fett. Um, Nobody likes a Boba Fett when they have to go up against him. The best type of counters would be a Finn, a Lando with his sharp shot, Finn with his Deadeye. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know that. If you are good at shooting, how like I am when it comes to Han, you can really blast Boba in the head a lot of the times, or get body shots. Those will cause some nice significant damage on Boba. Sometimes Anakin is alright, but it's like it kind of defeats the purpose now. Back in the day, Boba Fett didn't have that ability to dodge in midair, but now that he does, kind of defeats the purpose of Anakin when that pole comes in. But sometimes when you do have, let's say Boba ran out of his fuel, that's the best time to use Anakin's pole. But if he's honestly on you, then obviously you gotta get rid of him fast. With Luke, it's repulse is good, like if you can use that, like that Eclipse card, the Epicenter card. That one's good when he's flying above you, but it's like it can only reach at a certain limit at height, so it's kind of difficult to fight Boba Fett when it comes to using a Luke. Honestly, with a Luke, all you have to do is just block and dodge and try and get as close as you can to him, but usually he just flies away, more so. But if you can block, dodge, and rush at him, sometimes Luke is fast enough. That's when you just want to freaking do that epicenter or that repulse type of damage, and then when you do the repulse damage, he'll just get up super fast. And so it's just like, even if you are close to try and hit him, it's like it's not gonna happen all that well. So I would not suggest having a stronger push. I would just go with a regular push and try and see if there's any sort of surrounding, some sort of object that you can throw him up against. That way you can just go right on in with a rush attack, and when you go right on in, you just want to do like 2 R2s, 3 R2s, and if he flinches, that's fantastic, you'll finish him off that way. But other than that, it's just Boba Fett's a pain in the ass overall when it comes to trying to counter him. Some people can be good at it, but like other heroes, good luck. You know, like with other heroes, just good luck with them. Now we got Bosk. Bosk is super easy to counter. Like, I haven't found anyone that hasn't had the difficulty of countering him. He's just like, all he has to do is just jump up in the air. But if you're like a Luke, an Anakin, anybody really, you can just really counter the Bosk. They fixed him, so be careful of those mines. You can always see where those mines are. They're like these little tiny balls that you have to look on the bottom of the screen. Hopefully you see them. They're like a little droplets of blackish, and you'll see little red lights. Hopefully you pay attention. Or some Bosks are not that smart. They'll just say, oh, well, you're on top of me, I'm just gonna drop my mines. Well, duh, now obviously I see where your mines are, so I'm just gonna jump right on over them and hit you in the back, and if I'm a Luke, I'm just gonna throw you away from your protection. So obviously Bosk is super easy to counter. Chewie, he's very slow, somewhat easy to counter. It really depends on your ability on attacking him. I know a Vader could easily take him down. Dooku, it's like a hit and miss type of opportunity. With Dooku, yes, he has that fast master ability to master duelist to attack Chewie. However, if he has that furious charge, you have to wait till that furious bowcaster is gone, because that will melt your Dooku real fast. Vader, sometimes if you don't get that choke in on time, you'll just lose it. but you know, Chewie's usually easy to counter. Now we got a Vader. Vader is a very tanky villain. He's very difficult to fight at some degrees. Sometimes he can 4v1 people, 3v1. It really depends on how good you are of a character, or how good you know your character in order to counter this guy. I know with Luke, he's good to counter Vader because Vader, he's slow. Luke's fast. If you dash right on through, you hit him in the back, you know, and what you could do is Luke's stamina charges a lot faster than Vader's. And so, you know, if Vader tries an attack, you want to parry him. You know, as soon as you see that flash, hit him back as soon as you can. Because if you hit him as soon as you can, he won't be able to swing in for another attack before you have your block up. So you have to be very quick with the Luke. And that's the huge opportunity that Luke has, is to be very, very quick with his type of attacks. Han, you know, it's like, you gotta know what you're doing as a Han, to be honest with you. Vader could be easily countered by a Han if you use the correct star cards. I know his bomb is pretty good. I explained it in the cards. So you're gonna have to skip on through to see where Han is located in order to see what's good to counter Vader, but I would just use the bombs, like an air burst. There, I'll just give you 1 star card. Air burst, that's really good. As long as it knocks over Vader off of his feet, you can take that nice sharp shot and plant as many blasters as you can into him, but he's still gonna get up depending on how much damage you got. But to avoid the inevitable, Lord forbid, if he's ever close to you, some Vaders are reckless, so they'll just swing at you. All I just do is I'll shoulder bash them, they'll fall to the ground, I'll shoot them, then roll backwards. Shoot them, roll backwards. And basically, if he's right on top of me and my shoulder charge isn't ready and he's like trying to swing, I'll try and roll right through him. It works a lot, and then I'll just shoulder bash him again. He'll fly a little bit, shoot him. He should be done by the end of today. Then you got, let's see, Luke was good, Han's okay, Rey is, it's kind of tricky with Rey, but if you got that opportunist with the mind trick, Vader would just usually just stand there. He won't be able to block her from dodging right behind you, so he won't be able to move side to side, so that gives you an opportunity as Rey to swoop on him for an opportunity to hit him. But honestly, due to how much damage she does, it's like a hit and miss with her. A real hit and miss, unfortunately. Then you got Lando. If you know how to stun him properly, you can take out a Vader from full health. You know, you gotta have that stun ability, and you gotta have the recharge ability for his stun as fast as you can, because the more stuns on him, the more of a critical shots that you get into his head. And you know, usually you should count down on how long the stun is, and usually go in for a sharp shot to cause extra damage against him. And the less amount of health he has, you know, the better opportunity you have of killing him. Other than that, other heroes, they are a struggle. Struggle to fight him. If you're ever in Obi-Wan against Lord Vader, just parry. You know, there's no point in trying to go in to try and slap him with your saber. You know, and yes, slap as in mean it's a quick attack. You know, if you really want to hurt this Vader, you know, you just gotta wait till you parry and then freaking beat his freaking face in. That way he's just gonna feel the full wrath of a Jedi. But it's all based on parrying when it comes to Obi-Wan, literally, and trying getting behind him when you do the mind trick. But other than that, it really defeats the purpose. Always spam your mind trick on Vader. as much as you can. I don't care how many times you have to do it. You have to take that Vader's health down. So spam it as much as you can. Just don't spam it right in front of him, because as soon as that happens, he's just gonna freaking take you out. Oh, what's up, Alexander? I'm just explaining about how to counter all your heroes and villains here. So now we got freaking Darth Sidious. Darth Sidious has been well known to be just a destroyer when it comes to stamina, when it comes to health. That guy's annoying. You know, this guy has freaking been a pest ever since launch. He's been broken. He's been able to kill a lot of people. Thank God they fixed the type of damage that this guy produces. But you know what you gotta really do in order to take out this Palpatine real quick? I would suggest Han Solo. Han Solo is really good at taking out Palpatine. All you have to do is use that sharp shot, go right for his head. Sometimes he'll just like wheeze around you, but if you're really good at shooting, then the Emperor will go down like a slice of butter. He will just melt by Han's blaster. Then you got Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker, you can block. If you have that stamina card, you can block him. You rush towards him. Don't use that rush ability. Do the dash ability. Then, as soon as he's about to put his animation down, you see the animation. It's clear as day. He's gonna shock the ground. All you have to do is hold your block and dash right on through. You'll hit him. You'll just hit him, and you'll be able to beat the crap out of the Emperor. All you have to do is just like, don't use that strong force push ability. It is completely pointless to throw the Emperor as far as you can, because now you're gonna have to run all the way over there just to freaking hit the Emperor. So I would not suggest using the strong push when it comes to Luke. Use the regular push, that way he's up close and you can whack him a good couple of times. So after that, you got more abilities like the Epicenter. The Epicenter is pretty good to hit Palpatine. You know, he'll just usually spin, you know, and as soon as you're up close to him, you know, a lot of Lukes make the mistake of using the repulse as soon as they're on top of him, and the unfortunate fact is you don't realize how many rolls the Emperor has. He has 2, right? So what's gonna happen? You know, you use your Epicenter, you're gonna miss every time with that Epicenter if you're going up against a good Palpatine, because all he has to do is dash once and then dash twice. He's gone. He's clear out of your Epicenter, and it doesn't affect him. Now you just wasted ability, so now you're gonna have to run after him. So good Palpatines are really fast, and when good Palpatines are really fast, that's gonna be a danger for Han. That's gonna be a danger for Luke. Now you're gonna have to rely on a support character. And now this support character is, the funny thing is that Palpatine's a support character for high damage output. Now you're gonna have a character that's based on just ability to spam the heck out of protection to heal your characters. And this protection buff, thank God, is supposed to help you protect your heroes that surround you by using Finn. So Finn can counter the amount of high damage level that Palpatine puts out, but in order to kill and melt a Palpatine, use Deadeye. Deadeye usually freaking makes the Palpatine worried. They usually try and get away from it. Unless you're going up against a freaking really confident Palpatine, in order to kill him as fast as you can, if the Deadeye does not work and he's still on you, you're gonna have to pull out that pistol. And pull out that pistol as fast as you can, because then that's when you get to spam the pistol button as much as possible. That way you can put out as much damage as possible. Lando, you know, you can hit him, you know, with that sharp shot. That usually helps out. And when that helps out, you know, then you have to wait till you can do that stun. And if you get him in the stun, then you can usually melt his health from there. Obi-Wan can be a counter, to Palpatine, but it really depends on what you do. Um, because usually Palpatines get away from an Obi-Wan, and you can try the Force push, but that's not really it. You get like a 50-50 chance to hit Palpatine, to be honest with you, because all they have to do is just dodge to the left or dodge to the right, or just like use the spin ability right through your first push, and then yeah, that defeats the purpose of it, unfortunately. Palpatine just needs distance, and it defeats the purpose of being Obi-Wan against against the Palpatine, so I would not suggest Obi-Wan. Yes, his stamina is nice, but honestly, to get rid of Obi-Wan's stamina, and to have a forever battle, it's gonna kind of end up being a Palpatine and Obi-Wan. That star card ability, it used to, back in the day, used to be able to block Palpatine's lightning abilities. Used to be able to block his regular abilities, and it used to be really helpful, but now when you use this forward card or use this type of ability, it's not gonna work. He's just gonna shock you right on through, and you're dead, basically. So I would not choose him. Sorry, but that's just my opinion. And if you're good with Obi-Wan and you know what you're doing, then go right on ahead. Yoda, there's no point. So yeah, Yoda is like, yeah, he can heal, and if Palpatine's feeling all cocky, all you have to do is just use his ability of the Force push, then get up right up close and personal and beat the crap out of him as fast as you can. And then what I like to do is I like to use that agility card, the dash attack right here. And I have that extra star card on, so I'll just like spam the agility card as fast as I can to hit him as fast as I can. The more damage I put and the more health I have, the better opportunity I have to fighting a Palpatine. But a lot of case scenarios, I've seen a lot of Yodas just fail at beating Palpatine, so it's not the likelihood of beating Palpatine with a Yoda is a lot smaller. I would tell you that. So now we got a Han Solo. Han Solo is usually really high in damage. If you know what you're doing with a Boba, it can be really actually easy to counter a Han Solo. However, if you don't know how to disable his blaster, because that's how you're gonna beat him, is you have to have the ability to disable Han's blaster. As soon as you disable it, blast away as much as you can, then shoot the rockets, then Han Solo's health is gonna melt, and plus you have the ability to get away from a Han. The likelihood of you getting killed by Han is gonna be a lot smaller and a lot slimmer, so you have the chance to counter Han as fast as you can. Darth Vader can easily just take on a Han Solo unless the Han Solo is very well experienced. He's gonna use that smuggler's roll. He has 3 rolls. You have to count every time that he rolls, because as soon as you see him roll twice, usually when they roll on the 3rd time, it's usually a lot slower. So all you have to do is just choke him, and then throw the lightsaber through him, and then try and get up and personal. Watch out for that shoulder bash. As soon as you see a Vader just spamming it, use that shoulder bash. You're done. You're just gonna go flying, and then he's gonna put some more blasters into you. And with a bomb, of course, that's usually what a lot of Hans do, is they throw the bomb first, right? So as soon as they throw the bomb, obviously, oh, he just had enough time to have a second bomb. You don't want him to have that second bomb. That's gonna finish your Lord Vader off real quick if you're not careful. So that's the thing about Han, is sometimes, if you allow him to recharge his abilities, he will melt your Lord Vader. You choke them. Make sure you do whatever you can to destroy Han as fast as you can. You don't want to play around with this guy. Another counter to Han is Maul. You know, if there's any ledges, throw him off the ledge. It doesn't matter if it's a cheap move, just throw him off the edge and get it over with. But if you don't have any edges or ledges, all you have to do is just like have the ability cards on that I explained about. Yeah, I explained about it for other heroes and villains, but you know, you gotta figure this out more so on your own. Maul has a very special opportunity, higher opportunity to be faster, so all you have to do is just, you know, use his ability to dash forward and not using the circle. You know, the circle is a different type of dash, but you know, that ability to where, you know, it's the spin attack. If you use that spin attack and you have the star card on, right, for 3 spins, you'll be able to hit Han Solo 3 times with that spin ability. Try and get him from behind, because usually Han Solo's kind of a little bit slowish to turn around to hit ya. So if you get right behind him, hit him a couple times, then try and dash the other way, try and hit him a couple times, then, you know, if he has that bomb ready and he just throws it at the feet, back the fuck up as fast as you can. But if you can't, use that force choke ability. Hopefully you get him in time right as soon as he sets off the bomb. You, as a Maul, will not be tossed by that bomb because you just choked him, and Maul's choke ability cancels out everything. So that's the thing with Maul and Han. And so Kylo Ren, you know, if you know exactly what you're doing with the Kylo, the best type of things I would suggest is obviously pull him off an edge if you see it, and you gotta have specific type of star cards on, but I would suggest, you know, freezing him up. You know, you want to freeze that Han Solo as fast as you can. Because the reason why I would freeze him is, like, 1, it allows you to get behind. 2, I would just use his rage, the frenzy. And when you use that frenzy, you'll be able to melt his health a little bit, but he'll roll. So it kind of takes away the frenzy part. Unless you got that greater leap on, then you get to stick on to Han. It'll annoy him, and then you just, like, if you have the pull ability, you pull him, and then he'll fall to the ground, and then you swipe in and hit him. But if you can't, and you don't know how to use frenzy all that well, then you're gonna struggle. If you already used your pull, all you have to do is just block, dash right behind him. Hopefully he doesn't have the bomb, and hopefully he doesn't use the shoulder rush, because once you dash right behind him, just swipe and you'll get a nice hit on Han Solo. That's a critical shot with a white X that's enlarged. So an enlarged white X is a critical shot. Unfortunately, it's not a yellow, or else Han be dead real quick. Also, it's kind of a hit and miss when it comes to an Iden versus a Han. Iden, all you have is just that shield. That shield's very nice to have when Han throws his bomb, when Han uses his sharpshooter's ability. You know, because, you know, all he has to do is just sharp shot you and, you know, blast you multiple times in your head, and then boom, you're dead. So you want that droid with you, you want that shield on you before you go in to take out a Han. And honestly, sometimes you can win in a long distance battle. It depends on how smart this Han is. If he knows that he's gonna lose to secondary fire that Iden has because of just the splash damage alone, he's gonna get out of your cover. So you gotta make sure that if you need to get up in personal, you get those 2 abilities active. When you stun him, aim for the head always. You don't have to go down to you don't have to just sit there and wait to see that droid stun him. If he rolls right through the stun, it always catches him. Like I've tried multiple times as a Han Solo to roll right through her droid, and it just gets me every time. So this gotta be like a 100% stun at this point when it comes to an item Versio versus a Han. And then they'll just just aim for the head, and if he's still freaking fighting, and you have you're overheating a little bit or you're about to overheat, just spam that secondary fire, and usually that'll hurt Han Solo pretty bad. So you gotta really use that very carefully to your advantage. That way when you're Iden, you're gonna take out that Han Solo. Okay, so next we're gonna be talking about item Versio. Item Versio, it depends on how good you are with an item Versio. So, if you got people that are really good with item Versio, obviously, she's gonna try and roll through your attacks with a saber. She's gonna try and use her shield when she's getting blasted. She's gonna use that droid like crazy. So what are the heroes that are good to freaking go against this item? Oh my god. So you're talking about a nuisance. We're gonna talk about how to defeat her really quick and easily. We're gonna use a Luke. So when we use a Luke, you gotta block obviously against her attack, and then you gotta dash right through her splash damage, because she will spam that secondary fire right on you, and that's gonna be annoying. So you'll want to get up really close and use that rush attack that I talk about. And you need that star cards, the star card of having the 3 rush attacks. So once you go right on through, you just swipe in, hit her a good couple times, and when you're on her, she'll try and roll, and you just want to dash wherever she is to try and hit her, and then hit that R2 as fast as you can when you're on top of her. And if you're blocking with a Luke and you get stunned, it breaks your block ability. Now it allows her to hit you with splash damage, because usually I've seen items just splash damage you. So you gotta be very quick with Luke, or else you could just get melted by Iden. Lord forbid, if you're Luke and you get stunned, she's gonna aim for your head and you're dead. So you gotta be really quick. This is why Luke is a good counter, is he's super quick. So if you're quick enough, you can easily melt item Versio. I haven't seen really many people fail when it comes to using Luke, but it's a rarity sometimes. I would not suggest Lando, because obviously all she has to do is use her shield. Defeats the purpose, honestly. Counter her stun and his stun, the likelihood of you winning in a fight when it comes to a Lando is is fairly difficult, because all she just has is a protective shield. Now she's just gonna just damage you completely with high DPS damage, high damage pointage. When it comes to regular fire, when it comes to secondary, so Lando is a struggle. Doesn't say it's not impossible, but it is possible. It's just harder with a Lando to counter an item Versio. But if you roll right through her and you hit her in the head, I would say in order to win this type of fight against an Iden, you gotta aim for the head. Aim for the head, hit her in the chest, do whatever you can to freaking damage her. But, that's what I just gotta say with Iden. Leia, good luck with Leia. Leia, unfortunately, hasn't had any abilities to really counter item Versio, so I would not use Leia whatsoever when it comes to countering item. They're gonna change her that flash grenade. Thank God they're gonna change it. They're gonna get rid of that flash grenade, and they're gonna give her one of those thermo detonators that a Wookiee has. Hopefully they make the damage radius a little bit bigger, with a little bit stronger oomph. That way it hurts, villains when they're really on you. But you know, you got that secondary fire. That secondary fire can do some splash damage onto item, but you know, E11 all the way if you have to go up against an item Versio, you know, because her E11, is it an E11? I thought it was an E11. Either way, it's a rapid fire weaponry, and you know, as soon as you get that rapid fire on her, aim for the head as much as you can. And when you melt her health that way, you could win into a fight, but your rolls is not going to cancel out her stun. So that shield is meant for you to protect you from that droid. Because technically speaking, no lightsaber throws can penetrate the shield, so neither should the droid. So if the droid does get through, it's breaking the mechanics and the rules of the game, so go figure. Who knows what DICE does, but I know for a fact that Leia struggles. A huge benefactor, if you're really struggling against an item Versio, I would say just use Mind Trick, get it over with. Just use that opportunity with that Mind Trick, spam that Mind Trick as fast as you can when you're on top of her, and then she won't be able to move side to side with her cursor. You know, she won't be able to look side to side, so when she's not able to look side to side, rush her, knock her on her ass with that dash attack, and then once she's on her ass, just hit her as much as you can. You don't have to necessarily get behind her, but if you know when your Mind Trick's gonna wear off, get right behind her really quick and then go in for final blow. And if you go in for the final blow, you can take her out. Yoda, I would not suggest, you know, so I wouldn't really worry about a Yoda against an item Versio. All I just would do against Yoda, since he's small, do a splash damage, but giving Yoda the benefit of the doubt, use that force push ability. While you're absorbing her blaster fire, you can throw her, and when you throw her, hopefully you're throwing her against the wall. You don't want to throw her to where she can just like roll or get bounced to a different part of the map, and then that defeats the purpose of absorbing the blaster fire. Now you're gonna do double the amount of work, just like how I explained about Luke. You're gonna be doing double the amount of work, and it's gonna be pointless to do that. So when you're countering item Versio, when it comes to a Yoda, use that force push, make sure it's up against an object, use that healing ability as fast as you can. When she's gonna do that shock now, that stun droid, Yoda struggles blocking that stun, so I haven't seen him successfully block a stun against an item Versio. So she's gonna just damage you on your head, she's gonna do splash damage, and now you're just Yoda, you're small, and you're trying to get up close. All she has to do is just keep rolling backwards and she'll struggle. But if you're Yoda and you get up nice and close, you can really do some heavy damage on item Versio. It's not even funny how much damage you can do to item Versio when it comes to a Yoda. If you have that nice star card on, the star card of opposing the dark side with the agility, you'll melt her health so fast it's not even funny on how fast you melt item Versio. And so wouldn't use a Finn, I would use, let's see, Obi-Wan. Yes, you can beat an item Versio with an Obi-Wan. Just make sure you have the right star cards on to block her damage, and when you just block her blaster fire, you know, you just rush right on in, and hopefully that stun doesn't get you, but if it does, don't worry, you have that health regeneration card on to regenerate that health. But if she's trying to spam you with a splash damage, that's gonna really eat up your health. Now you're on a time limit on how much damage you can do to her before she gets away. Because the likelihood of her seeing you as either a Luke, an Obi-Wan, or an Anakin, they're gonna try and really run away if they know they can't handle the fight. So, item versio will depend on other villains to intervene with this fight. So, with Obi-Wan, just get in there. Honestly, the way to counter her stupid stun droid, I would use the Force Push. That Force Push will stop that stupid stun droid. Now she wasted a stun droid. She has to wait for that cooldown to come on in. And now you just throw her. Hopefully you're hitting her, but if you don't, then obviously 2 abilities are cancelled out. That gives Obi-Wan high opportunity to get up close and personal to go in and finish her off. Just make sure you know how to follow item versio when it comes to her spamming the roll button. Now we're talking about a Kylo. Honestly, I've had fun countering Kylo so much. I've countered Kylo so much with Luke Skywalker with the parrying. I've countered him with just the Force Push. You know, Kylo can be an easy target. Doesn't mean he's a crappy villain. By all means, he's still a really good villain. You just gotta know how to use him properly. Now, the way to counter Kylo, I would suggest using a Luke, a Chewie, because of the high damage output, a Han Solo with the bomb, and then using that shoulder bash to get his stupid ass away. I would not use Yoda. Yoda's block ability does not do that well. Rey struggles to fight a Kylo. It really depends on your mind trick and how much of an opportunist are you? Like, how good are you at dashing through villains to make sure you can get through them to do the attack necessary to take down this Kylo? So Kylo has many opportunities to kill people really quick due to his star cards. It depends what type of star cards you're on. But Lando, he's good for countering Kylo somewhat of the time. That's a 50-50 chance. If you got that stun on him, aim for that head as fast as you can. Use that snipe shot if he's trying to jump up in the air or if he's trying to come close. You know, you want to use that snipe shot on him. But if you know when your stun is about to wear off, use that snipe shot on him. Oh yeah, he's gonna melt himself so fast. But usually Kylo's, they'll play dirty. They'll just pull you and then they'll stun you. So the only way to counter his pull, and you gotta time this right, because you can see the animation. This is all about looking at your enemy now. How good are you at reading how your enemy moves? How good are you at seeing when he's doing the pull? That's when you roll. As soon as you see his hand move away from his saber, that's when he's doing the pull. That's when he's doing the freeze. If you can roll right through both of those, they're gonna say what the heck, and then that gives you 2 chances to hit him twice with a blaster. That's both with Han and with Lando. Leia I would not use against a Kylo. Yes, her damage output can be very painful when it comes to a Kylo, though, when it comes to rapid fire. But I think she's able to roll when she has rapid fire on. I'm not pretty sure. Yes, you know what? I think she does. If she's able to roll and, like, he's trying to spam just regular saber hits on you, then all you have to do is just use rapid fire, aim for his head, try and roll behind him, try and roll to the side of him. Just be careful on how many rolls you have to get away from some of his damage. But if he's closing in, the likelihood of him using that frenzy is going to be super high, unless that Kylo knows exactly what you're doing. Then, you know, you as a Leia, what do you have left? Just secondary fire as a splash damage, but hope to God that you're close enough to damage the guy, but I would not really suggest a Leia. A Luke can be a very good counter, but it really depends on your Kylo. But let's say you're going up against a Kylo that's just spamming, and I've seen this happen so many times in the game, and then it's freaking hilarious. I'll just parry them. As soon as I see that flash, whack. As soon as I see that flash, whack. And I'll just take out a Kylo that easily. Like, come on. And, like, when it comes to him using that frenzy, you know, all I have to do is just use that block. Or if he uses that, when he's using that frenzy, I'll just use the block, I'll dash right behind him, hit him, then, you know, you're gonna melt his health so easily, to be honest with you, when it comes to Luke, because Luke is that fast. So, now when he's doing his freeze, and if you know how to position yourself correctly at the right spacing between you and Kylo, and you use that rush attack right there, as soon as you get up close and he does that freeze, at that time frame, it allows you to actually hit Kylo. Kylo will get hit, and hopefully Kylo's low on, very, very low on health, to where that rush attack will finish him off. But if he's stupid and he uses that frenzy while you're trying to hit him, obviously he's still gonna get hit, and you can kill him off that way as well. Rey is the struggle. Yoda is a struggle. Finn, good luck with him. You know, if you know how to roll, if you know how to jump, then, you know, you might be able to counter Kylo. I would not suggest it, though. Obi-Wan, you know, I haven't seen many successful Obi-Wans counter a Kylo. That one's difficult within itself. But if you're good at parrying, by all means, use Obi-Wan. But it's all about strategy, you know, and this HvV is very important on team effort here, especially when you are using these type of heroes that needs the necessities of people to help. So now we're going to talk about Lando Calrissian. Lando, he's been a fun character to use, you know, he can stun people, you know. Back in the day, his stun used to be so long. He used to be able to take out a Vader so easily with that stun. You know, all you have to do. And the bad thing about it, though, was when you spammed that R2 button, my fingers were freaking hurt after I keep on pressing that R2 button, keep pressing it as fast as I can, you know. Some Vaders have such heavy amount of health to where, you know, you don't finish him off with just one stun. But now these days, unfortunately, it's all different. Everybody complained how Lando's too powerful with his stun ability. Now all you have is just like you stun him and then you just like, yeah. All you have to do is just like, just hit Vader. But I explained that earlier. Getting back to the subject, how to counter Lando. It can be very easy to counter Lando with a Vader now. If I see someone throw down a stupid stun, what am I gonna do? Am I just gonna sit there and wait till he presses that button and gets done and oh ho ho, I'm freaking stunned? No. As soon as I see that stun, I'm just gonna jump up in the air because I'm gonna hear that beep beep sound, and it's faint, but you can hear it. There's gonna be a beep beep sound, and as soon as you hear that, you jump up. Your Vader's gonna be like a little bit stunned in the air, but it's not gonna stop you at all when you're coming down for freaking beating the shit out of Lando. Just be careful because Lando will roll, and Vader is kind of slowish with his saber hits, just a little bit. But when he plants those hits, oh my god, especially with that enrage, good luck Lando, you're fucking dead. Also, if you're really good with a Palpatine, you can melt Lando easily. All you have to do is have the correct star cards on, use that Dark Aura, it does double the amount of damage. You'll be able to melt Lando pretty quick, shouldn't be a problem to melt him. Item Versio, You know, if you use Iden Versio properly, you can use that stun droid and melt his health that way, then use the shield, get up close and personal, and beat the crap out of him. That's the way to get rid of him as well. Maul, all you have to do is just depend on your speed. When he uses that stupid stun ability, just jump over it, and then do those spin attacks to get right up on him. And then all you have to do is just try and hit him, but you know, he'll try and shoot you in the head, so you gotta be very careful, or he'll shoot you in the body. So that's when you just back up a little bit, use the block, and then just try and dodge to the side, do the spin attack, get up close and personal again, and kill him that way. Then we got Phasma. Phasma can be a good counter against a Lando, because her droid deactivates Lando's stun. It depends on the star card, but it usually should be able to deactivate Lando's stun when he throws it right in the epicenter of that freaking stun droid against her turret. So her turret should be able to disable it. But in a ranged battle, Phasma will win. Phasma will hands down win if you know how to aim properly, if you know how to hit him in the head, aim for the head. You'll see all those critical shots light up because her accuracy is on point all the time, and it's amazing with her blast. So props to Phasma for having that ability to be able to shoot on target, because that's really gonna save you when it comes to a Lando. Also, some Landos are stupid. You know, they'll just waltz on in, and then all you have to do is just have your stun droid on him, and they'll try and run away. Or they'll try and get in there stubbornly, try to fight you, but not really the case. I haven't seen people that stupid, so they'll try and run away, and that gives you an opportunity to either go on in with blaster fire and rain hell on him, or all you have to do is use a staff attack, and when you lunge at him, it'll get you closer to him, and if you hit him, that's also a good way to finish a Lando off. If you really want to kill the Lando, and if he's being a pest. I haven't seen many really good Landos in a long time. So let's see, what else is a good counter to Lando? General Grievous is a pain in the ass to freaking counter Lando. All you have to do is just use that thrust surge, and you're right there. You're right on Lando, and you know, he's just gonna say, oh my god, he's right on me, so I'm just gonna roll, try and shoot him. I'm putting up my block as Grievous. You know, he'll just like roll again. I'll just swing my saber at him as soon as he stands up. As soon as I see those knees, and I look at their knees, they'll bend upwards. And usually when their knees bends upwards, he's out of rolls. Obviously, I'm gonna hit the crap out of him. So when I hit him, he'll freaking try and break my stamina. As soon as I see my stamina get broken, I use the Claw Rush ability. I'll just rush right on through, and usually Landos are not fast enough to throw down a stun, depending on how close you are, but if you're really up close, nice up close and personal, you use that Claw Rush, and when you're on top of Lando, click that R1 ability, I believe it's the R1 ability. Yeah, click that R1 ability again, and you're standing on top of Lando, and now you just did double the amount of damage to Lando. That if you're just too far away, you break your stamina, and you're saying, shit, well, no worries, Grievous has the middle ability of unrelenting advance. So now you just use that spin attack. It'll, when he's twirling his sabers, it'll just block all Lando's shots. And it should block the ability of Sharp Shot as well. So General Grievous, you know, if you know really how to use General Grievous, Lando's just gonna die. Count Dooku, you know, his duelist is just gonna wipe out Lando. Just make sure you don't get hit in the head. Um, Especially against a Han. Han will melt you as Dooku, so when it comes to Dooku, just make sure you know what you're doing. Um, I always use my shock ability, you know, the lightning ability, um, and it's just to throw him on the ground. So when it comes to Lando, you know, I use that star card ability of the blind spot, and the whole reason why is I hate heroes that have the ability to roll, spam their damage output on me, and you know, I just hate that. And I know that since I can rely on Dooku's health regenerating, and knowing that Lando's the person that using Lando is really good, I can depend on my blind spot to shock him. He'll fall to the ground, I'll dash close to him, swoop on in, take him out with my duelist abilities. And that'll melt him with finesse and master duelist alone. Now we're gonna talk about Leia. I haven't seen anyone struggle against Leia, so to speak, unless they're really good as a Leia, but other than that, you know, she can only do so much. She's pretty much useless right now until she gets that thermo detonator that they're talking about, and replacing that flash grenade. She's pretty much hard to use in HvV overall, so be very careful, my friends, when you are using Leia. But if you know how to use that splash damage, do it. You know, do that secondary fire. It just takes a couple of seconds for it to charge up to hit your enemies. Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker is a fucking pain in the ass. He's the most annoying little fucking shit that I've met. He's so fast. He is, like, so fast on the light side. I've seen him counter against 3 villains, sometimes 4, sometimes 2, and just 1. It really depends on how good this Luke is, but the best counters for Luke would be a Vader, you know, due to tanky health. But if you know how to parry, and you know how to keep your stamina up, you're gonna get that Luke to waste his stamina so much that you, as a Vader, you're gonna still have all your stamina. Then you break Luke's stamina. He's gonna try and dash, but once you see how he dashes and you know how he moves, use that choke, and then get up close and personal. Use that saber throw when you're up there, and then go in and do the swooping attack. It'll melt Luke. But always use that focused enrage. That way, you know, you're buffed up, you're nice and meaty. That way, Luke's attacks won't hurt. But also follow Luke, because if you don't follow him, he'll just use his agility attack, then he'll use the epicenter right behind you. He'll knock you on your ass, and then he's just gonna plant like 2 or 3 hits on you before you get up, and then that's it, you know. That's a lot of damage done to you, so be very careful as a Luke. It can be a really good opportunity for Palpatine to take on a Luke, depending on the star cards, and it depends on how quick you are to stop him from attacking. Is you know, if you got that extra lightning attack, then you can just melt Luke's stamina, and then you can go on in and do the damage. Then you got Item Versio. Item Versio, if you know how to use her, use that stun, do splash damage. It's gonna melt him, get headshots on him. But don't always try and aim for a close combat, because you will lose, as in I did. Haven't seen a Maul defeat a Luke all that successfully. Yeah, you can be fast, but two fast people don't usually counter each other. I've usually seen Luke win against a Maul because they try and do an attack, they'll just parry you. But if you're Maul, you know, you're very limited on stamina, and Maul doesn't really have a stamina card, because all Maul is based on being fast. So, you know, you can try and parry him, but the likelihood of you winning a fight all the time is very slim. So, you know, really, really depends on how you're fighting up against a Luke, but just throw him off the edge if you can, and try and swoop on him for an attack. A Kylo's a very good counter against a Luke, and when you're going up against the Luke, you know, you can parry him. You know, as soon as you see that flash, hit him. As soon as you see that flash, hit him again. You know, do whatever you can to damage the crap out of him. You know, use that frenzy. Because usually what I like to do is sometimes in order to break a freeze, right, and you just freeze them, right? I usually see like 2 hits, and that basically breaks their freeze, so I'll just hit him once in the back with an R2, then I'll do a frenzy. And when they try and do the block, they can't dash backwards or forwards. All they just do is just stand there blocking when they're frozen. So that gives you an opportunity to use your frenzy to hit him from behind. Critical, you know, that's gonna do a lot of damage. So as a Kylo, you do have good opportunities to counter Luke. And then when it comes to Count Dooku, I was just thinking of Kylo, speaking about it earlier. When it comes to Count Dooku, you know, all you have to do is just like see how aggressive is the Luke. And if Luke thinks he's all that, then he's got another thing coming. Because when you use that Masterful Duelist card, or if you're just using his middle ability alone, Luke's just gonna go on in there. He'll try and saber hit you. You know, all you do is just wait for that flash, hit him, and you'll get into a lock saber parrying match. And sometimes when you realize that you're losing in the parrying match when you're a Luke, you're not able to dash back in time when Dooku's there to finish you off. So you gotta be very quick with Luke in order to not get parried by Dooku. But Dooku, hands down, can take on Luke for countering. I find it hilarious when a Luke is using that rush ability. So what do? I use that shock ability. You know, I use that blind spot card. I use that shock right on him. He goes flying right past me. I chuckle to myself every time, because now I just see him land right behind me. I turn around really quick. I'll beat the crap out of Luke, and Luke's done. You know? And if you're really annoyed by this Luke, right? You're really annoyed about Luke Skywalker and trying to counter him as a Dooku, you have his other ability, which is Exposed Weakness, and this Exposed Weakness is making him go slower. Now, slower enemy makes it a lot easier to be able to attack, to damage him, to cause many... Which one is it? Where was it at? I think it was... Superiority, was it superiority? That's supposed to usually make them go slower. I've seen it happen many times when I'm playing as a Luke. They'll just use that Exposed Weakness ability, and it makes my Luke slow as fuck, and then, you know, gives, you know, your other villains an opportunity to hit him. But if not, then just like try and hit him, and if he's putting that block up, dash right behind him, and that usually that exposure weakness makes him slower for turning, so hit him in the back, you'll be done with him. Then you got Darth Maul. Darth Maul, you know, he can be countered. Actually, one more thing about Luke. Sorry about Darth Maul. You can counter Luke with Boba, but you know it's just gonna be a long type of fight. You know, but you won't have all the time in the world to freaking fight Luke, because you know if you're doing HvV 4v4, then all you have is just freaking blaster and you know stamina, breaking stamina of the Luke. Yeah, right. Good luck with that. You know, it's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be impossible, but it will be hard. Um, Usually, when a Luke's coming in close for an attack, and usually when they're like really close, the best type of thing to do is to disorient them. You know, with the rocket. Um, the concussion rocket. When they're disoriented, it makes people look like they're either closer. I don't know what it really does. I know it makes it really blurry, and it for some reason it tricks me sometimes as a Luke to thinking I'm close, saying, "Oh, I'm gonna hit him," but you know, at the same sense, you're not close. That's right there. Boom, boom, shoot him in the head. You know, you put in some damage. Dash backwards, use the rockets on him, the rocket barrage, and then boom, you know, his health is just gonna melt like that. And in the end, I've seen Boba's win against a Luke, but it also depends on where you are at, uh, how close you are to Luke, and if you know how to use the dash properly, right? You know how you use that dash, you can dash right through Luke's attack. And when I dash right through Luke's attack, I just drop the rocket barrage right on top of him, right as he swings, right? So I'm like right behind him. I dash backwards. I use two of my dashes. So I dash right through him, dash backwards, use rocket barrage. Boom, that's gonna really hurt Luke Skywalker really bad. So then you got Bosk. You know, a lot of Lukes are careless and reckless when it comes to Bosk. You know, everybody says, "Oh, Bosk is such an easy character to kill." Well, not really. He's not really always an easy character to kill. It really depends on you as a player how you use him. And I've melted Luke's so fast with Bosk, and I've gotten so many hate messages just for using Bosk alone. But what I use is, like, I know I use my traps. I try and lure Luke to get close to me. And sometimes I run away from my traps. Like, I run forward ahead of my traps and get Luke to come up close to swing. Then I'll roll, and then I'll just stay inside of the bombing area, you know, where I have all my bombs ready. And so I'll just like wait there, and if he's so cocky, he'll try and come up to me, and you know, I'll just roll. Then I'll use also on top of that, I forgot to mention this, if you do have Luke and you know he's just putting up his block, use that Predator Instinct. That'll melt his health as well. So if he's coming in for like trying to hit you as fast as he can, you know, and he doesn't have that rush immunity card, then his health is just gonna go gone. It's gonna be just melted so fast with the proximity mines that Bosk has laid out for you. So if you're still struggling as in a fight, throw your gas grenade down right on top of the battle, right dead center where you are and him. When you throw that down, his health is just gonna melt slowly but surely go down. And then you still got that Predator Instinct on, and that's the whole reason is when you have that gas going on, you're using those Predator those Predator grenade launchers on him, and you're using those mines that, you know, he's just gonna be done. You know, and then you move on. Bosk is not necessarily meant for fighting multiple people at the same time. He's usually meant for a 1v1 to a 2v1. Really depends on how you use Bosk, but Bosk can counter a Luke, but not many people know how to. Okay, so now you got a Ray. Honestly, Ray's easy to counter. Um, I've seen Palpatine's counter Ray. I've seen Vader counter Ray. You know, all you have to do is break Ray's stamina. Um, you can melt her health that way. I haven't really seen anyone struggle. It's you gotta be brainless not to know how to counter Rey when it comes to a Palpatine. You know, if she's a really, really, really good Rey, and some of them are out there, then, you know, they'll take that opportunist and that mind trick and try and get in behind you. But even with Palpatine, all he has to do is just dash backwards and keep dashing backwards. That's it, you know. It's pointless trying to fight Emperor all the time when it comes to a Rey. So if you have that middle ability activated and it takes you off the screen, try and sneak in a good nasty attack from behind as a Rey. But Emperor should be by hands down taking on a Rey by himself. Vader, never seen anybody struggle as a Vader unless you're new to the game and new to using Vader. I haven't seen Vaders lose a saber duel when it comes to fighting up against a Rey. Don't get me wrong. You can lose to Rey. I've lost maybe once or twice to a Rey out of the 2 years. I think it's going on to 3. I think it's going on to 3 right now. I've only lost like maybe 3 or 4 times against a Rey. Even when she first came out and she was broken technically with all the damage she put, and she's used to be able to use her middle, you know, that agility that she has. What is it? That, you know, that dash attack, you know, where she's like running to you. She used to break your block, and then you'll just fall on your ass and she'll just whack you. But not anymore, so don't worry about that. Just make sure the Rey thinks she's gonna be good for damaging you. Just parry her. You know, she's gonna die. You know, just choke her. She'll die. I haven't seen shit from a Rey for a long time. Boba, all you have to do is just honestly keep your distance with a Rey. Don't try and get up close all that often. Because all she has to do is just get to either your side or to your back, and you're done, you know, as a Boba. So keep your distance from a Rey. You can use your rocket barrage, you can spam the R2 button. That's what I do sometimes, is I just spam the R2 button. I'll destroy her stamina, and then what does she have left? Or some people are foolish enough to put their block down and just run towards me, even as a Luke, and I just headshot, 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 oh, you're dead. And it's like, oh, you finally reacted to all the headshots I'm giving you, Rey or Luke. Now here's a bucket full of rocket barrages coming up your ass. So, good luck, Rey. Also, good luck to a Boba Fett, depending where you're at. If you're in Jabba's palace, fuck, you're dead. Good luck. I mean, really depends. If you can fly around the room, but if she's using that mind trick and she's really gonna get on top of you, just hold the R2 button, you'll shoot straight on up into the ceiling. And your head is just in the ceiling. Hopefully she's not just jumping up, trying to swing at you as if you're a piñata. But if you're just flying straight on up, she usually shouldn't be able to hit you. And that's just gonna waste her mind trick ability, unless she has the long enduring mind trick. That's gonna be annoying. Bosk, you know, like I said, she can be countered with a Bosk, but really depends on your proximity mines and how much damage are you gonna do with your Predator. You know, it can be good, it can be bad, but you know, just be really quick with a Bosk. Try and get her done as fast as you can. Item Versio, just splash damage her, to be honest. Use that stun, hit her in the head, she'll be done. Really quick, but with that mind trick, you'll lose. She'll just use that dash attack, get in there. Now she's on top of you. You wasted all your rolls, you're done. So make sure when you're in Iden, don't always be so close to her. It's what's distance is what's gonna help you win this battle here. Sometimes the shock droid can win your battles, but you don't want to always depend on a stupid shock droid to do it. Then you got a Kylo. You know, I've seen parrying with a Kylo. I've parried people. I've used my frenzy on her. I've melted her. You know, I've used pulled her off the edge. You know, I haven't really had that much of an issue with a Rey, but at the same sense, she can do all that. She can parry you, she can get up behind you with the opportunist, with the mind trick ability, and she could counter you personally from behind. And while you're hitting your saber, if she knows how to parry, then as a friendly advice, I would use frenzy on her when she does the parrying, because now that's gonna give you some resistance, and I suggest you back off a little bit from her, because now you know that your Kylo is not gonna be really much of a match to her if you know how to play as a Rey. So Phasma can be really annoying for a Rey to fight, but all you have to do is just stay on top of your turret. You know, that's what a lot of Phasmas do anyway. And when you're on top, if the Rey is stupid, they'll do the mind trick before they go in to the epicenter where the turret is, and you know, she just wasted that. But if she's right there, she gets stunned, and you haven't taken her out, she'll do that mind trick, and once you're mind tricked, you're basically fucked, because she's getting right behind you. Even though she's right there with the droid, she'll freaking hit you from behind. You'll lose some of your health, and then, you know, I see Reys just back off to regather their health, and then they'll just go in and try and do the same thing again. However, if they're holding up the block, they'll just do the mind trick ability, and then they'll just whack you from behind as a Phasma, so you'll lose your health really quick. But Rey really would need support in order to fight Phasma if you don't know how to use Phasma properly, or it's just due to the fact she doesn't do enough damage against a Rey. So General Grievous, you know, he's a damage character. He can go up against a Rey. I haven't seen people struggle with a Grievous fighting a Rey. When she does that agility attack and she's trying to get on you, you know, all you do is just do the claw rush. You know, claw rush her, and even with that mind trick, I do claw rush, I do thrust surge. Right as soon as I see her hand wave, I say, oh my god, that's such a huge ass opening. I always see it all the fucking time. Such a huge opening. People are so stupid when they try and use the Rey so close in range. I'll just use thrust surge. Boom! There she goes on the floor, and kind of defeats her purpose. I just move my joystick backwards. That way I move forward, and then I just, like, get into a saber fight with her. It's fun. It's fun. Honestly, I haven't seen any trouble with Dooku fighting up against a Rey, just due to how powerful his saber fights are with him. I've seen quite a few struggles with BB9, so wouldn't really use him. HvV, it's a lot more difficult to use BB9 overall versus BB8. BB8 really can stand for himself. So we just talked about Rey. So now we're gonna talk about Yoda. Yoda pretty much is broken. You know, he's not as good as he used to be. Um, a lot of things has changed for the poor guy. A lot of villains can now take on Yoda. Um, Iden Versio can take him on. Back in the day, Yoda used to actually have his force ability block the droid from stunning him, but now when he's using that freaking block ability and he gets stunned, that's it. You know, that freaking Yoda doesn't really stand a chance. So Vader can crush him. It's a very rare thing to see Yoda's being very good. It's a very rare thing. I used to be super good with Yoda at one point. Then ever since they started changing him quite a lot, it just has not been the same for me. The experience for me being with Yoda has been ruined to quite a large degree, which is just so unfortunate, because now they kind of just have Yoda just for a healer more so, and maybe to be a little annoying here and there, but he's not really much of a threat anymore. Palpatine can beat his ass, you know, Vader with his enrage due to how much health can beat Yoda's ass. I've never seen Yoda really win in a lot of fights. Bosk, all you have to do is just spam that Predator and, you know, those mines, and you'll destroy him. You know, you'll destroy the Yoda. I wish that Yoda could block, you know, Bosk's Predator, but it doesn't. So the splash damage alone will take him out. Wrist rockets from Boba Fett can take him out. Spamming that R2, and he'll just use his force push ability. I just dash right through it a lot of the times, and I keep blasting him, and then, you know, that's the sad, unfortunate part about Yoda is when he's using the force push on Boba and he just dashes forward, he just cancels out your force throw as a Yoda. So now you just shoot him in the head. That's it. You're done. So rocket him, you know, do whatever you can. I like to concussion them, even though they're using the force block. And sometimes for like, I've seen it happen quite a few times, is their force block actually gets cancelled out for 2 seconds, and I get in a cheeky couple shots here and there on Yoda. So headshot. Kylo really can take on a Yoda. It really depends how you are as a Kylo. But really depends on how you use him. I've seen Yoda kind of win in a fight against Kylo, but not all that often. You know, so all you have to do is just really be smart how you play as Kylo, and you'll win hands down against a Yoda. Okay, so now we know that General Grievous obviously will destroy Yoda. His Claw Rush attack, you know, his Claw Rush, that breaks Yoda's stamina when he's blocking. It happened to me where I was playing as Yoda. He broke my stamina, he was on me, I was dead. All he just did was spam the R2, that was it, I was done. Yoda's force block can block his thrust surge, so be careful when you're blocking be careful as a General Grievous when you're doing that thrust surge against a Yoda, because now you just left yourself wide open, and literally as soon as I hear that loud clicking noise, you know, where it's a saber hit, that's when I react instantly with an R2, and there you go, there's a damage. When he's doing that spin attack, the thrust, when I see Yoda, I'll just use unrelenting advance on him, and it'll just stun him. You know, it'll stun him as if he's a tossed salad, and you can toss him around, like beat the shit out of him. Not literally, but you can really beat him at his own game. So It really depends on who's playing as a Yoda at this point. Dooku, haven't seen struggles from a Dooku. You know, shock him, masterful duelist, couple swipes, he's dead. So, have fun as a Dooku taking out a bunch of fucking Yodas, because you will. Okay, so now you're going up against a Finn. So the best type of counters against a Finn would be, if you're really good at a Palpatine, melt his health. If you're really good at, as an Iden, spam that splash damage if you're from far away. But if you're up close and personal, use that droid, aim for the head, he's gonna be done. You know, you're not gonna have really much of a struggle. Vader can easily take on Finn, but all he has to do is just spin, jump, and try and maneuver. But that's all he can do to get away from a Vader if he so chooses. And if he wanted to fight, the only way that he would win in a fight is if Vader is like literally at 200 health or maybe 82 health. And that would be it. So good luck to you as a Finn to fight a Vader. I've seen you can really counter Finn, and there's a way to where you see him using his Deadeye. I think he throws his hand up right when he's about to use his Deadeye. And when I see him use his Deadeye, I use the Rocket Disabler. And disable his blaster. Now you just disabled his ability. He's saying, oh shit, so now I can't lock on to you, Boba. And I just wrist rocket him, blast him as much as I can. I land on the ground a lot of the times. I'll dash side to side, dash around him. That way I can just blast him, melt his health, and get him done and over with. Bosk, I haven't seen really many Finns run up to a Bosk, because Finns like to stay away. They like to, you know, have long distance battles. So, you know, all I have to do is just use Deadeye on you, Bosk, and you're dead. Or even when you roll as Bosk, you're gonna get damaged either way with that stupid Deadeye. So I wouldn't really suggest a Finn to go up against the Bosk. I wouldn't really suggest Bosk going up against a Finn as a counter. But if you can get him into those mines, if you can hit him a lot with Predator Instinct, and do a lot of splash damage and get him to be irrationally thinking, then you'll win in the fight. But the likelihood of a Bosk fighting a Finn is gonna be very slim. Very, very slim. Let's see, who else would be really good counter? Obviously Dooku, you know. Point blank, Dooku will dominate a Finn. A Kylo will dominate a Finn. You know, it's just like saber hit, freeze, frenzy, saber hit, done. You know, you'll finish him off. Maul, all you have to do is just hold the block, do spin attack. If you have that rush, that spin immunity, it's not gonna hit you when you do that spin attack. It deflects blasters. So when you do that spin attack, you're already on top of Finn. Beat the crap out of him. Then you're done. You move on. General Grievous, all you have to do is just be very cautious about your stamina. Dude, you are such a low stamina type of character as a Grievous. But all you have to do is get up really nice and close and personal with him. But the way to do that is try and do a thrust surge, try and do that unrelenting advance. That way it stops Finn from breaking your stamina. So also, I think it also helps build up your stamina back if you use the unrelenting advance, and then use that claw rush to get right underneath Finn, then reactivate the claw rush right on top of him. It's double the amount of damage, and then you're just on top of Finn, and you just basically chop him up for soup or something really quick. Use a Count Dooku. Dooku's really fast. with his duelist, you know, Finns really struggle. Sometimes they'll roll, sometimes they'll try and hit you, do very sneaky, coy attacks on you, but usually, hands down, a Dooku will win in a fight with Finn. Now we got Phasma. Phasma can be such an annoying pest. But the best type of counters is Hans. When it comes to long range battle, you know, if you're really good with accuracy, all you have to do is just really hit her in the head. I use that sharp shot ability. I blast her in the chest, in the head, you know, whatever I can to melt her health. She'll buff up her health. I'll throw a bomb, boom, she just falls to the ground. Hit her quite a few more times, she's done. Just stay away from that turret. Or if you're really annoyed about that turret, try and destroy that turret and try and like get close enough to her to melt her. But be careful, she can melt your health as well as a Han, because all she has to do is go down the scopes. But hopefully you're smart enough as a Han to basically take her out before she gets the opportunity every time to do that. So Chewie, all he just needs to do is just use that Furious Bowcaster. Honestly, Chewie, I would suggest as a Chewie, just destroy her turret. You know, then go on in. When you destroy her turret, try and stun her, and then, you know, your Furious Bowcaster has quite a cooldown, so I would blast her a couple of times, and then go on in with Chewie's ground slam. Usually by that time your shock ability and your Echo Roar ability for Furious Bowcaster will be active, so stun her, use that Furious Bowcaster, finish her off that way, and she will be done. Lando, it's kind of hard to counter her with a Lando. If you know what you're doing as a Lando with good headshots, good sharp shots, then you'll be able to maybe take her out, but usually when it comes to long range battles, Lando would lose. And if she has her droid out, then she would counter that. Obviously, that's done. So Lando's kind of iffy. I would not use a Leia, to be honest with you. Leia is already struggling as it is. I wouldn't know why you would want to go with a rapid fire weapon when she has a rapid fire of her own. Just doesn't really make that much sense. So really, when it comes to a Phasma, I would use secondary fire on her. Try and destroy the droid if I need to get up close and personal, then use that rapidary fire. And when I'm up in close and personal, blast the crap out of her in her head. But if she has that droid, it's a no-go zone. With Luke, I've had so much fun taking on Phasma. You know, all I have to do is have the stamina card on, and then I just go on in there. And, you know, her droid is... I don't care if her droid's even there, basically, because I have so much health as it is. I'll just block her blaster fire, and I'll deflect it at her. Sometimes it's like... it's really good to deflect it right back at her. It'll melt her health. And then, when I'm in there, I just hold down the block. You know, I hold down the block. I don't get stunned by that droid. You know, I try and keep the droid, the turret, kind of at the side to where I can kind of see it. That way it can block at like maybe, I want to say not exactly 180 degree radius when it comes to the stun droid, but actually 160 degree. However, all you have to do is just get in there really personal. Use the agility attack, and then you just spam your R2. And if she's really hurting you, then hold down your block. And the closer you are to her, the more she shoots at you. You'll just basically block her shots. It can hit her quite a few times. She'll try and roll around. keep with her droid, but if you really can't take on her with her turret, just throw her away. Throw her far away from her droid and take her on that way. Ray, like I said, it mentioned how to counter is using Mind Trick and using that Opportunist. Unfortunately, you'll have to deal with the droid, but the turret, but you can still win in a fight against a Phasma if you do have those two activated, and she can't follow you when you go on in. So, really depends. Finn, you know, all you have to do is rely on your Deadeye. That'll hurt her quite significantly, because Phasmas, you know, they don't really hide behind objects all the time. You know, they'll just plop their freaking droid and said, oh, okay, I'm protected, but now you're using your Deadeye, you're hurting her so badly. And then, you know, all you have to do is just get a little closer, that way you can for sure hit her, but, you know, at the same time, you know, long distance range, you gotta be very, very careful, because she will melt your health if you don't have that middle ability activated to where it gives you health boost. It used to give you resistance boost, which was really, really nice, but now it really doesn't do much for a Finn, so be very careful, like I said, when you're using a Finn. Anakin really can counter a Phasma pretty well, and what I suggest is, you know, as soon as you see her, it really depends on how she moves. You know, it really depends how she plays, because some Phasmas can counter your pull, but what do? You get in there closer to the droid, to where the droid's shooting at you, and you're holding your block, right, and you're getting hit. You're blocking those fires, but then you use your heroic might, right? And then as soon as you get damage, you're getting little amount of damage, but now it gives you an opportunity to expand your radius and then throw her out of that area. Hopefully she didn't roll, but if she did, don't worry, just hold down your block, try and pull her. Usually they don't really react that well to the second pull, and when you do get her away from that droid, hit her as fast as you can and as hard as you can before she gets back to that droid, or else you're gonna have to try and do the same opportunity again. So Anakin, I would not suggest going near the droid at this time, because now everything's changed, to where now you have to kind of rely on not being in the radius of that turret. So be careful. BB-8 has countered her droid. It's countered Phasma's droid. It's countered Phasma in general. All you have to do is just use that heavy ass cable spin, try and hit her off her ass, and when she's on her ass, use your other ability to where it activates where you see people, then use the cable spin. It's double the amount of damage and it'll take out Phasma super easily. So if you know exactly what you're doing and you know how to take care of Phasmas, because I haven't seen really that many Phasmas have their turrets up against a BB-8, because they said, oh, it's just a droid, it's not really much. Now people are starting to realize, oh shit, BB-8's powerful, I better have my turret right next to me. Hopefully it'll stop it, but honestly, if you're just barely on the outskirts of the radius of the stun turret, you can actually destroy the stun turret with just the cable spin alone. And now, what does she have to defend herself? Nothing. Now you go on in there and you annoy the crap out of her. You stun her, you go around as fast as you can. She'll just spam the R2 trying to get at you, but don't worry, she's not really gonna hit you all that well unless she's super good at aiming, which highly unlikely. It's not really realistic of her beating BB-8. but use that cable spin again because it'll activate a little bit faster than her turret, then take her out. Okay, now we got General Grievous. General Grievous is freaking... He's powerful, but you gotta really know how to use him. So there are people out there that have been the sweatiest Grievouses. I've actually went up against a really sweaty Grievous back in a couple days ago, actually. And it's really rare to find, but it's so much fun to find really powerful Grievouses out there that know exactly what they're doing. So I'm out in Capital Supremacy, and I'm trying to fight fucking this General Grievous, and I'm Anakin Skywalker. You know, every time I try to pull the bastard, he's either out of range or he uses his claw rush. And I said, oh, that's easy. So usually when I'm behind, I'll pull him. But for some fucking weird ass reason, in the Capital Supremacy, I was right behind him. I pulled him, but he never got pulled. And it's like, what the fuck? Why didn't he get pulled? But either way, it was really fun fighting against that guy. Okay, so now getting straight back to the point, how to fight a Grievous. If you're an Anakin, you know, obviously, you know, both of you have shitty stamina at this point. But these Grievouses, they will do the unrelenting advance. Hell, I just jump over them, and then I just freaking, when I jump, I land right behind him, bash, 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 now he's dead. Heroic pull, if you can do that, if you dash right through his attack, and he's going right past you, because Grievous, in order for him to stop, he has to hit something, or else his R1 will ability will keep on going. I tried to cancel it when I've tried clicking it multiple times to make him stop, but he doesn't stop till he hits something, or it cools down to where it wears off. So pull ability on Grievous will hurt him. Sometimes if I want to be a real asshole, right, I let him do that claw rush. I mean, not the claw rush, the unrelenting advance. I just use Heroic Might, and I'm holding it down, and I know how to time it just right to where he just barely just stops the animation. I unleash all that freaking power all on him. He goes flying so far, it's not even funny how far he goes. But he goes flying, and then as soon as I get close enough, I just use the attraction card, and I pull his stupid ass over here, and then I beat him down. He's done. You know? So, Anakin can take on a Grievous. Obi-Wan, you know, all you have to do is just parry, mind trick. That way he doesn't really use that claw rush, or he'll just get away. When he used the unrelenting advance, don't let him know that you're jumping over him. Just try and get as close as you can, but just jump over him, hit him in the back. You'll take him out, parrying all the way against the Grievous. Some people are stupid against when it comes to a Finn, but I just would not suggest a Finn against a Grievous. So no to that. Yoda, you know, it really depends on how you play, but no, I wouldn't use him. When it comes to Rey, it's just mind trick alone and opportunist. You get right behind him, beat the crap out of him, and parry him, and you'll win. Luke Skywalker, really quick, is just parry, parry, boom, dead, done. You're done and over with when it comes to Grievous and Luke. So all you have to do is just really, I like to see how he tries to do the thrust surge, and right when he does the thrust surge, I just dash right on through, or I just hold down my block. Now I just canceled his attack, and I react with an R2 button, and it just instantly hits him, and it damages him. Now he's just eating shit, basically. So Grievous, when it comes to fighting Luke, you should win in a fight. You should win in a fight as Luke. So if you don't win in a fight with Luke, then you're not thinking clearly or you're not doing something right, but there's something there that you gotta change. Lando, it's hard as a Lando to win. If you're going up against a Grievous that's experienced and really experienced, you're gonna have a hell of a time, so I wouldn't suggest Lando. When it comes to a Han, as soon as he activates that Claw Rush, throw it right behind him. It'll blow him up. Yes, he'll come flying towards you. And so what does he do? He'll freaking say, oh, well, now that you brought me closer, thanks. But, as soon as he's on the ground, you gotta keep blasting him. And just roll backwards. And if he's using that unrelenting events, and if he's super low on health, really low, just use a shoulder bash. He'll be dead. Done. Chewie can really melt a Grievous's health, but good luck on the Claw Rush ability. That won't help you out as a Chewie. Unrelenting advance, if he uses the wombo combo of Claw Rush, he's on top of you, then he's using unrelenting advance, that's gonna hurt like hell. But if you have that Furious Spellcaster, it'll try and help you in some certain degree, and if you have that stun, you'll be able to take out General Grievous, but it really depends how you use a Chewie. Okay, so now we got Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi is a powerful stamina user overall. Sometimes he's good at countering Vader, but you gotta really know how to play as a Vader. And usually I just melt Obi-Wan because he just he just holds down his block. He'll try and use his mind trick at the wrong time. I'm just spamming R2, I hold my block, spam the R2, hold my block, and I usually sometimes like to wait till he tries to attack me. Then I see that flash, I do a parry, boom, he's basically dead. But if he's using that forward motion, just use a choke on him. It'll lift him up, do a saber throw, he's dead. If he's holding his block down, use a saber throw, it hits him from behind, boom, you just annihilated an Obi-Wan. Unrelenting, no, Predator Instinct would be really good to use against an Obi-Wan, and also Mines against an Obi-Wan. By the time he usually gets there, he'll be done, but he really wants to get you away from those mines, so be careful. It's a very elongated battle, honestly. It's not even worth it with an Obi-Wan and a Boba. Honestly, I've seen the fight go on for days, like literally hours on end with just a Boba and Obi-Wan just fighting. When you got two people that don't want to give up in a fight, and it's these two going at it, then you might as well just set your controller down and walk away, because this fight's gonna take a long ass time. This Boba is just gonna try and fly as far as he can, try and use his rocket barrage, but Obi-Wan just gained a lot of his health back. Now you gotta start everything from square one, so I wouldn't really use Boba all that well. Kylo, he's strong when it comes to fighting in Obi-Wan, but honestly, a good Kylo would parry and then try and get behind him and frenzy him, and then do a freeze right when he's about to do another attack. Yeah, I'll get a little bit of damage, but I should be able to finish him off when I have him frozen. So that's a good combo there. Maul, just be fast, just like get behind him, hit him, get behind him, hit him, choke him, throw him off the edge, do whatever you can to get rid of him. General Grievous, it's fun to fight as a General Grievous against an Obi-Wan. I've defeated many Obi-Wans with the General Grievous. I do a Claw Rush, I'm on top of him, I'm beating him up. Then he's trying to get away, I do a Thrust Surge, it gets me closer. Then I hold down my block, I parry him, and then I attack him, he's done. Phasma, all you have to do is elongate the attack, wait for them to come to you, use your turret to the best of your ability. and just basically aim for the heads, take him out that way. Okay, so now we're talking about Count Dooku. Count Dooku is just like a fast character overall when it comes to dueling. Obi-Wan, all you have to do is just parry as fast as you can. And if he's getting in that saber lock duel with you, and you know you're in a parrying fight, and Dooku's duel will really annihilate your health, so back the hell up. Back up, get away from that parrying match, because you will lose in a parry. Use that mind trick ability as best as you can, as much as you can, and try and, you know, dance around. You know, you just gotta keep moving. You can't stay in one spot and expect to win in a fight against Dooku, so move around. Anakin, honestly, I've had so much fun parrying the fuck out of Dooku with an Anakin, because I just take so much health away from him. And then when Dooku's all like cocky and stuff, they'll just come in and start spamming the R2. I just hold down my heroic might for just a split second. As soon as he hits me, I release it. He goes flying up in the air, then I use my attraction, I pull him, then I start whacking him. He's like, oh shit, I'm super low on health. Then I use the other ability to where it allows me to hit him with a passionate strike through his block, and his health is gone, basically. But however, if you don't know how to parry, and if you're not good as an Anakin, or if you struggle as an Anakin, you will lose to Dooku hands down with the Duelist active. So be very careful with that. BB-8, I've seen BB-8 take him out as well. But be careful of that Master Duelist. It will destroy this BB-8, so be careful of that. Finn, I would not suggest to use unless you know how to roll, dash around, move around. Finn, I would not use. Yoda, it's just... Oh, look at that. He has no freaking cloak on. That's actually pretty funny. I'm taking a photo of that. He looks naked without it. That's actually pretty funny. So now we got Yoda here without his clothes on, basically. Let's see if it's okay. Okay, there it is. Let's see if it does it. No, it doesn't do it again. Okay. Rey's a struggle. I would not suggest it. Rey is definitely a huge struggle against Dooku. Sometimes you can parry, but not while his Masterful Duelist is on, so get away from that. Yes. This Luke Skywalker can definitely win in a parry match when it comes to Dooku. His reflexes is so freaking fast to where even if he is in a Masterful Duelist fighting stance, right? And he's coming in to whack you. Wait till that flash, hit him, hold down that, and all you have to do is just hold down the L2. You'll instantly have the block on, and then you'll just keep parrying Dooku to death. It's so funny to watch, but Dooku's so fast to freaking take down when it comes to a Luke. So dash around him, use epicenter, do whatever you can to melt him. But yeah, Luke's a good character to use. Lando somewhat is good, but it really depends how well you are at stun. I wouldn't suggest him all that often. Oh, Count Dooku struggles against a Han. I have seen it multiple times. It's happened to me quite a few times, to where all he just does is, I've seen Dooku's get really up close and personal to where they're just saber locking me. I just use that calm shooter, and I aim for the head, you know, that sharpshooter, rapid fire, boom, boom, boom. Oh, he's dead before I hit the ground, so, you know, that's really good. Dooku will sometimes try and just hold his block and come up to me. I throw a bomb, boom, he's on the floor, blast him, and now he's coming up and personal, now he's running at me. And he knows that he's like literally just right there to hit me. So I use the shoulder bash. Boom! He goes flying. Blast him. He's dead. Basically, that's all there is to it to counter Count Dooku. Use stun and use the use the Echo Roar ability and you'll melt Dooku's health, but everybody knows how to get away from that Chewie's blast, so be very careful. If you're a Chewie, I would not recommend it. But if you got a really, really good nasty Chewie, this Chewie will destroy Count Dooku, Vader, I think Palpatine. I haven't really seen a Palpatine really go down by a Chewie, because they either just dash away or do something. So a Maul is really good to use. But anyways, getting straight back to the point with Dooku. Yeah, just the other characters I just wouldn't use them. So the best ones is Obi-Wan, Luke, Han, and Anakin. You know, in that order. Okay, so now we're going against Anakin Skywalker. He's a powerful character overall in the game. Really depends on talking of power. People say he's just overpowered with his abilities. Not true. Not true, not true, not true. Really depends on how you use him. If you don't use him right, you're not gonna have power. You're gonna lose. So all I just see is all you have to do is just like parry Anakin with Dooku, and you'll win in a saber fight. You know, unless he's using that heroic might. As soon as you hit him, and you know, I've seen this happen to where I click R2 just once and I accidentally hit him while he's in his heroic might. As soon as he feels that hit, he usually just lets it go and I go flying up. Now he's just hitting me and I'm like saying, oh shit, I try and dash back and now I have to restart kind of from square one, so you gotta be careful with that. General Grievous can be a hit and miss against an Anakin, but really a Claw Rush would save you against an Anakin. If he's feeling cocky, do the Thrust Surge if he's not putting his block up, but wouldn't really suggest him. Wouldn't suggest Phasma, but if it depends on the environment and it's inside or close quarters, then Phasma would be cool to use, but not always winning a fight. Even with the droid there, you would not always win the fight with Phasma against an Anakin. Maul, highly would not suggest using against an Anakin unless you got edges, unless you can really move Maul around fast. But even how fast Maul is, all I have to do is just pull him. There, you're done. I'm hitting you quite a few times and then you're dead. Let's see, who else? Kylo can be really fun to use if you know how to parry an Anakin. If you parry Anakin, you're just gonna start taking his health away. Then he'll start realizing it at the last minute. Some people don't, but that's unfortunate for them, but a benefactor for you. And if you're just really saying, shit, he's hitting me hard, don't worry, use that frenzy attack. It'll give you some resistance, then back up a little bit, and now you're regenerating your health and go on in and kill him. Item Versio is a pain in the ass when it comes to fighting against an Anakin. If he does pull you, try and roll and use your shock droid. He'll be stunned, aim for his head, then use splash damage and get the hell away from him. If you can. But if you can't, try and do as much damage as possible. And if he's using his heroic might, roll right through it. You can do it if you roll right through at the right time, and then just hold down the that rapid fire to shoot him a couple more times, and it should kill him. Honestly, all you have to do is just keep your distance as a Palpatine, use that lightning reach ability, just shock him, stun him, use that lightning strike ability. It'll go right through his block. You can kill him that way. If he pulls you, the likelihood of them using their second ability is very high. Yes, you'll get hit twice. Yes, twice. Before you can get up, but hopefully it's not in the part where, you know, he's just like, a little too far out of your swinging reach. But if he is, then it allows a Palpatine to get away. So Palpatine, your long-range fight will win against an Anakin. Vader versus an Anakin, Vader would win because all he just needs is focused enrage, parry attacks, get behind him, choke him, do a saber throw through his blocks. You'll win. No, and this is just a waste of time. You would win the fight eventually, but a waste of time. Then BB-8. BB-8, all you have to do is use Dooku, Masterful Duelist, hold down the block and do a couple of strikes. And then with General Grievous, all you have to do is do the thrust surge. It'll make that droid go bouncing. Do the claw rush, get on top of him, and just hit him that way. No, don't use her. Maul, kind of like, no, just don't do him. Kylo is just, not really, just wait till that cable spins out and try and saber swing, but not really. She can be annoying, but Stun Droid doesn't really do all that well against BB-8, so no, unless you splash damage. And then when it comes to a Palpatine, just keep your distance. Just spray that lightning ability. You'll just shock the droid, and usually with his shock abilities, it stuns him. You can kill him that way. Or Vader, all you have to do is sometimes it's glitchy to where you can't choke him, but if you do choke him, saber throw him, get on top of him, hit him with a saber, he'll be done. Because BB-8 is not that fast compared to a BB-9. No, I wouldn't use him because he can't really get away from a BB-8 once he's there. Unless his mines are there, and then Predator, that should do enough damage, but most likely when he's using that cable spin and your mines are already there, your mines is basically useless, so no. And no, I would not use Boba unless you use rocket barrages and try and just spray damage into the head of BB-8, but good luck with that. BB-9, no, unless he shocks you, right? He uses his ability to disable your blaster, then use Deadeye. As soon as your blaster gets disabled as a Finn, use Deadeye. Then you're locked onto a BB-9. Even through his smoke, you can lock onto him, and then you can kill him that way. Honestly, to annoy the BB-9, all you have to do is just do the mind trick and use Opportunist, and either way you'll get critical strikes on a BB-9, so they'll fucking be pissed, but that's just fun to watch. Luke's, honestly, the rule of thumb is when it's a Luke and you're seeing a BB-9, right, and he's fucking fast as fuck, you know, if there's a ledge, great, you can throw him off the edge, but don't just throw him to where he's just gonna land somewhere far away from you. That's not the whole point of fighting a BB-9. When you're fighting a BB-9, point your fucking cursor downwards. When you point it downwards, you get the higher opportunity to hit him. Hey, what's up, man? How are you doing? So anyways, getting straight to the point, if you point your cursor downwards at a BB-9, you can hit him, but what he's doing, that smoke, you know, that smoke, ability, you want to use Epicenter, the Epicenter card. It'll make him bounce upwards, use a dash towards him, and then try and point your cursor down. Sometimes you can see him through the smoke. He'll be in a white. There's a white. I'm doing good, thanks. Just doing some countering. Fortunately, I explained everything, so you might have to watch the whole video if you want to see all the information on the counters of all villains and heroes. So getting straight back to the point, after I explain this BB9, I'm just gonna call it a day. Getting straight back to the point, you know, you use that Epicenter, he goes flying in that smoke, and then you know, you dash forward, you try and hit him. There's white borders around a BB9 in the smoke, so you have the opportunity to hit him. So, you know, you just gotta hit him as fast, as hard as you can if you're a Luke. But if you're getting stunned and this droid knows exactly what he's doing, do not, I repeat, by all means, do not go after him, because every time you swing and he's just going away from you, you're gonna miss. There's an 85 percentile of missing versus a 15 percentile. So if you're like on him and you do have that cursor pointing down, the likelihood of you hitting him is actually, now it's a benefit to you, but now you don't know who else is coming after you. So it's a kind of a waste of time to be chasing a BB9 if he's out of your striking range. A Lando is a huge opportunity to take out a BB9, and the whole reason why I praise Lando by all gods is use the sharp shot on BB9. It'll take him a third of his health. A third of his health. Right? So, no, sorry, not a third. 3/4 of his health. To where that BB9 is going to be so low on health. All I just do is I throw a shock right at him. I don't care how far away he is. I stun him. As long as there's nothing in my way, I will just aim down the scope, shoot him, blast, he's dead. Oh yeah, thanks for the info, dude. Really appreciate it. Let's see, who else is good? Han. Han is a really good guy to counter a BB9. I've shoulder bashed BB9s. I literally shoulder bash them to get them away from me. And I wait till my bomb is ready and I use air burst. And you know, the other star card of, if you see my star card videos, it's the air burst combined with the big bang, and that will hurt the BB9 so much. They will want to try and get away from you after that. After that sort of damage that you put on him, just aim for the head. But anyways, getting straight to the point. Oh, I appreciate that, dude. You don't have to subscribe if you don't want to, but I appreciate that you came to view the video is all. By all means, I enjoy people watching the videos anyways. Getting straight back to the point. Headshots are critical, you know, to a BB9. You know, for some reason, these stupid boxes annoy me when they disappear on me. But a funny video showed in this one was, I think it was at an hour and 47 or an hour and 30 minutes. Yoda had his cloak off. It was funny as fuck to see him with his cloak off. Getting straight back to the point, you know, Han Solo, if you know how to use him properly, you can win in a fight against a BB9. But if he's just dancing around you, you know, and he's just stunning you, that's just a nuisance. And now, what are you supposed to do as a Han? The only thing you can do is try and get him away, but by that time, the health that you have, it's gonna be so small. Now he's just gonna use that shock ability to get you launched, and he's just gonna finish you off that way. So be very careful as a Han. As a Chewie, You know, you need to freaking do the ground slam, not while their ability is active to where they can shock you. If they are out of their spin ability, all they just do is have to shock you. I've seen it happen to where Chewie gets counseled out of his ground slam because the stupid droid just shocks me, right? So all I just do is to get rid of this pesky little droid is, yes, I want them kind of close. I'll just use the shock grenade with first have my Fearless Bowcaster activated, then use the shock grenade, blast him, and as soon as he's close enough, I do the ground slam as fast as I can, and it'll make him bounce up, and it'll take quite a lot of health. Then I try and roll away a little bit, try and shoot him, and he'll die. Alright, man, it was nice having you in the chat. I appreciate it. Take it easy. And that's it, everyone. That's the whole explanation on countering all your heroes and villains. Thank you so much for everyone paying attention to this video. It was nice having everyone coming in here to watch and for having people pay attention to these important infos. Alright, I will see you all next time with another info date.